I'm Nick Gang.
My name's Wisam Reid.
And this is the Ambisonic Mixing Bowl. So this is a tactile and tangible interface for panning in 3 dimensions using Ambisonics. So the bowl that we used here is essentially an IKEA bowl that we got from the kitchen section that we put into the vacuum forming machine here at the Stanford PRL, and we really liked the round shape of it because it was both pretty flat on the bottom and not super. The flat bottom wasn't super big, and it was a nice spherical shape and a good size, so that you can fit lots of different sources on here at the same time. The shapes here, there's a camera down below, and it's looking for these fiducial markers, which are used in the React table synthesizer, and our open source computer vision algorithm picks them up and can place the sounds as virtual sources using SPAT, which is Earcom's software for Max MSP.
Before we do the demo, is there anything you'd like to say about it?
So the other thing that I think maybe isn't intuitive from just looking at this, each of these different, we're calling them beacons on the dome, represent a virtual source in the software. And so then through the preamps here, we're able to route real-time audio through the processing. And then as you move these beacons, then you're panning in Ambisonics a virtual source. So then you can move real instruments in real time. In this case, the drum kit has different audio channels out for each drum, and they are represented here with the beacons, and we can move them around the room in real time.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans for it going forward?
Definitely. I think there's a lot of things to improve. For one, we're using magnets here to connect the shapes to our little pucks here that move these things around, and it's pretty easy to just pick one up and the shape will fall in. So stronger magnets or maybe a different 3D printing approach to making these so that they're a little more uniform and they sit a little more flat on the top of the sphere. We had to think about the magnets a little bit, but we got this ability to turn the knobs, and that has endless repercussions in terms of mapping from the software. So far, we've been playing around with mapping that to the aperture of the virtual source. In other words, how direct the sound is or how much it's reverberating into the room. And of course, there's countless other parameters that you could map to that. So we like to think about that a little more. Mm-hmm. Another cool thing actually is some of these are paired. In this case, the toms are a stereo pair. So, but rather than a left channel and a right channel, we have toms A and toms B. So you can sort of choose in space where the toms are panning from and to as you kind of go across. And so just thinking about how you set up stereo pairs or maybe triplets or other groups of sort of ganged channels is really cool. I mean, I think we're learning a lot from using it, and we look forward to continuing to do that.
So, one more thing. The other thing that I think is interesting is I've been thinking about upmixing music for a long time. Like, how do you take stereo mixes or compositions and upmix them? And that idea of how to best treat stereo pairs and maybe even preserve the movement that was originally intended between those two channels. I think that's interesting. And then the other thing that we found that is really immediate with this is once you have a given ambisonic decoder encoding going, what can you get out of mixing to the speakers at that point? And there's we'll demo this, but you could take the sub and move it away, the kick, and move it away from subwoofers, and you'll get less low end out of it. And then you can mix it down over by the speakers. So I think that's interesting things to think about.
Video, or can you see it? Should I do it right here?
No, we'll still hear it on the video.
Oh, right,
audio.
got it. Okay. Ready? All right. So,
So yeah, we can talk a little bit about the stereo pair of toms here. I have one of these beacons labeled A and one of them labeled B. And what I can do is I can choose one side. I can move one of the beacons over here to the left and one over down low to the right. And you will hear the toms panning from this side to this side. Or, you know, vice versa. I can move them this way and have the toms panning this way to this way across the drums or in any other orientation. So close, far away, and maybe we can just do a little drumming, and I'll move them around, and you can. Now the both of them up. And I'm gonna rotate it here. Cool.
Yep.
So another cool thing is, I guess we haven't shown rotation, so you can go ahead and try on the snare. So here, this is,
I can't feel what we're going to hear while he's doing that.
that's true.
So you either have to talk or you have to drum.
That's true.
All right, I'll say something first. So this, right now, this is turned about all the way, meaning that the aperture of the snare, as Wisam was talking about before, is completely open, so it's reverberating in nearly all directions into the room. And so we'll go ahead and he'll play it wet, and I'll slowly turn it and make it a little drier and drier until it's really tight and just kind of focused in one direction. So if you want to do that. And back the other way, maybe just. Cool.
Well, and then you have you also were doing some filtering, right? Or you no?
Not on the drums. On the other thing that's kind of cool is just the kick, showing the kick with the subwoofer.
We are doing.
Oh, that's right.
We can do EQing over the Ambisonic channels, but we didn't really map that to anything yet.
Well, why don't you just do the kick? I mean, the kick like from top to bottom without saying anything, because it just sounds cool.
Yeah.
And even if somebody's like, you know, like maybe like clear them all, like clear them to the sides, so you can just go from like low to, you know what I mean, like so that you can do a full like boom 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 boom. You know,
that'd be cool.
because I think that'll get the cool factor even if you don't do any. Nobody gets the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, so I'll start down here. Right there. Alright, you wanna, yeah, that's pretty good, right?
Sweet, awesome.
Yeah. But there's actually one more thing that we could do, which is we realized this kind of late in the day, that if you kind of give it like a little structure here, and if maybe I should put the kick somewhere. If I put them all around the sides, this will be better. But if you want to just like drum around, another one of our goals for the future is to make this bowl rotatable. But in the middle of showing this to people, we kind of got the idea that you can pick it up and move it around, so you can hear if you want to. That'll be a cool effect.